It's Saturday, June 27th, and we are here with block number 27 of June Mini Madness, and this block is Dutch Windmill. And we have lots of pieces to deal with today, but the sewing is actually simpler than you would think. We're introducing the Flying Geese block, Flying Goose, I always call them geese, Flying Geese block, which we're going to sew using the sew and flip technique. So for this block, for your 3-inch block, you will need 4 1 1/4 by 2-inch squares of your primary fabric, 4 1 1/4 by 2-inch squares of your secondary fabric, and you will need 16 1 1/4-inch squares of your background fabric. So for your 6-inch block, your piece sizes will be 2 inches by 3.5 for your rectangles, and you'll need 4 of each, and then you'll need 2-inch squares for your background. So you'll need 16 2-inch squares, and then 4 each 2 by 3.5 inch rectangles. Blah. So we'll get sewing. And I will show you a couple blocks, and then I'll come back and finish the block. So you're going to line up your background square on the corner of your fabric square, your rectangle, and you're going to sew a diagonal seam corner to corner. You can mark these or not mark these, or you can fold them in half and finger press them, and that'll give you a line to sew on as well. I find that with these little short 1-inch seams or 1 1/4-inch seams, it's pretty easy to stay straight, but if you want to have a guideline, then yes, you may feel free to do that. So we're going to snip these apart. We're going to trim this, and I'm just going to scissor trim it, and I'm going to make it a nice, about 1/8 of an inch, because we have a lot of seams. We want to reduce that bulk if we can. Finger press that out, and then we'll add the second one. So you're going to turn your square, your rectangle, upside down there, and you're going to sew your second square on from corner to corner. Make sure everything's nice and lined up there. Just take your time. Okay. All the way across diagonally. As well. And there you have your little mini flying goose. And we're going to make 4 of each fabric, and then we'll sew them together into the block. Now that all of our geese are sewn, we're ready to assemble our block. So we are going to sew our one color unit to the other. So our red to our blue. We're going to just call them that. They're pink and blue-green, but so you want to keep the same one on the bottom for all of your units. So to me, it's easier to go like this, flip this over, and then so you want to sew them all the same. so your block will work. And I like to keep this one on top because then I can see where I'm sewing so I don't accidentally cut off that point. So once you get the first one sewn, then it's easy to just feed the rest of them right on through. If you like, you can trim these seam allowances down a bit, but you don't need to. So we're just going to open them all out, and then we'll lay them out and sew them together. You want them to fly around in a clockwise motion, so you can remember that when you're laying them out. I like to finger press away from this point just because it makes it lay better. And so there we go. You can see how I've got all laid out the way I want it. And then we're going to sew it just like a regular 4-patch block. We're going to make sure we line up our seams on the corner here so they all meet really nicely. So open them up, make sure we've got a nice match. Oh, look at those, looking good. Can you see those? We're just going to flip that over. Line them up. Ta-da! It's a little, I think that needs to be sewn in just a smidge. So that's easy to do. You just take it back to your machine and sew a second seam just like a couple threads over. And you can see that makes a nice difference in how that block comes together. So block 27, Dutch windmills. See you tomorrow. Bye.